So there's many Easter eggs in Fallout 76, and in this video we're going to be covering 10 of them. This is part 1 of a potential 3-part series. There's definitely going to be a part 2 that should be coming out in the coming weeks ahead. So if there is an Easter egg that isn't on this list that you do know, just know that it will most likely be featured in my part 2 version of this. But anyway, with all that being said, let's jump straight into it. So the first Easter egg I am going to be showing you today is a reference or several references to the horror novel and movie known as The Shining. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would have heard about this movie or book in one way or another. It is very, very popular, and it has been mentioned in loads of games over the years, and again, it's also in Fallout 76. Ironically, if you head over to the Torrance house, and that's the first reference right there, if you don't know, in the movie, the main characters are the Torrance family. We have Jack Torrance, Wendy, and Danny. Heading into this location in-game and making your way to the second floor, you can find a tricycle, and next to that you can find some cubes or blocks that spell out the word Redrum. This of course spells out the word murder backwards, and this is a clear reference to several scenes in the movie where Danny is reading Redrum off a door while saying it as well.
Redrum. Redrum. Redrum.
A very, very creepy scene to say the least, and I do believe as well the tricycle that's sitting there is also a reference to Danny riding around on this tricycle in the movie. Another reference to this is actually not too far away. Right near the Torrance house there is a maze, and again there is also a maze in the movie, and in the movie you have Jack who is chasing Danny through the maze with an axe, and eventually he comes to a halt and kind of sits down and ends up freezing. While in game, the same sort of thing has happened. If you make your way through the maze, you can find a skeleton with an axe sitting next to the body. Yet another cool reference to the scenes in the movie. Anyway, now moving on to the next Easter egg, and this one's really cool, especially if you are a fan of Bethesda game titles in general, and this references the Dark Brotherhood. The Dark Brotherhood is a professional guild of assassins in the Elder Scrolls universe, and if you've played Skyrim before and have completed the quest line for the Dark Brotherhood, you'll also know about their handprint symbol or logo. In Skyrim, a courier comes up to you with a mysterious note, and if you read that mysterious note, there is a handprint symbol and just the words, "We know." Now in Fallout 76, if you head over to this location on your map in Mount Blair Train Yard and go into the exact same building that you see us go into here, you'll find a picture frame on a table with the handprint symbol on it, and you'll also find some blocks that spell out the words, "We know." Of course it's missing the W there, not entirely sure why, but clearly a cool reference there to the Dark Brotherhood. Anyway, that leads us into the next one, which is seemingly a reference to Alice in Wonderland. If you head over to this location on your map, this isn't too far away from the Tyler County Fairgrounds, you'll find a table in which a tea party seemed to have taken place, and at this location you can find a couple of cool hats that you can pick up, some collector's items I guess you could say, and on the table you can find some food. You know, the table has balloons on it and stuff like that, and again this seems to be referencing the tea party in Alice in Wonderland. For the next Easter egg, we have one referencing the We Bare Bears animated series. I haven't really heard much about this, and I didn't really know much about this at all until this was found in game. But the We Bare Bears, again, is an animated series, and 3 of the main characters are Panda, Grizzly, and Ice. And in the intro, they stand on top of each other in formation. So you have Ice on the bottom, Panda in the middle, and Grizzly on top. Well, if you head over to the Palace of the Winding Path in Fallout 76, and then make your way up like the bridges section, I guess you would call it, you will find a reference to this. As you can see, you have 3 bears on top of each other, Ice on the bottom, Panda in the middle, and Grizzly on top. Just a quick little reference there to the We Bare Bears. Again, I don't really know much about this series, but Either way, I do think it's pretty cool how, you know, in games like Fallout and Bethesda games in general, they reference stuff like this. Now for this next Easter egg, we have what I think is a reference to the movie It. In the White Spring Golf Club on the map in Fallout 76, in a fridge, you can find a clown holding up a red balloon. Now, as many of you guys know, the It movie is very, very popular, and you have Pennywise the Clown, who also uses red balloons throughout the movie. Now, you can't do anything with the clown in Fallout 76, you can't shoot it, you can't pick it up or anything like that, but I do believe either way that this is somewhat referencing Pennywise the Clown. I know it doesn't look like him, but I just haven't seen a clown like this with a red balloon in the game, and when you see this, you kind of automatically think of the It movie, so yeah. Anyway, now moving on to the next Easter egg, and this is seemingly a reference to a scene in the popular TV series known as Breaking Bad. Fun fact, Breaking Bad is actually one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and if you head over to this exact location I'm standing in, near the Hawks Refuge, you can find a truck with some barrels in the back of it. Now, just behind that truck is a hole that has been dug into the ground, and buried in that hole is some more barrels with some money on top of them. Also, just next to the hole, you can find a skeleton on the ground with a shovel and a gas mask just next to him. Again, this is a reference to a scene in Breaking Bad where Walter White is kind of freaking out, trying to bury his money, in which he goes out, puts the money in barrels, and digs up a hole to bury them in. Now for this next Easter egg, it's actually a reference to an online video series here on YouTube known as the Monster Factory series. I will leave a link to this in the description below. This is absolutely hilarious. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have probably seen this before as well. And essentially, if you head over to this location near the Nuka-Cola plant, you can find several references to this video. One thing to note is that there's a couple of characters in the video. You have Pam, you have Rochi. You can find references to both of those characters in this location, such as on the desk, you can find Pam's outfit and also Pam's fashionable glasses. On the shelf, you can also find a ball peen hammer, again referencing the video. In the baby's bed, you can also find some Abraxo cleaner, again referencing the video. And finally, in the bathroom, you can find Rochi. He'll be sitting on the toilet seat with a top hat on and a cane. And if you've watched the video, you'll know that Pam, or I guess the character, ends up marrying Rochi.
And I just want you to know that you're the most special bug in the world to me, and I can't imagine exploring the wasteland without you. Will you marry me? He said yes!
So that's it.
And again, if you go back into Fallout 76 and loot Roach's body, you can find a wedding ring on him. And I don't know, I mean, these ones are my favorite type of Easter eggs where Bethesda takes something from certain online series or YouTube videos and incorporates them into cool little Easter eggs. So I was really happy when I saw this one in game. Anyway, moving on to the next one, and this one's more of a secret location with a cool feature added to it. I thought it was really cool and kind of worth including in this anyway. And if you head over to this location on your map, you can find a set of catapults with detonators next to them. And if you use those detonators, it will basically fling these skeletons like all the way across the map. Kind of like a funny little thing they've added into the game. It kind of reminds me of the Fallout 4 canister launcher location where you could, drag these canisters off the shelf onto the holders and then shoot them and kind of make your own little fireworks display. It seems to be one of those things that Bethesda adds into the game in one form or another, just some weird little thing they do. Either way, I think it's really, really cool that they have added this one. Anyway, moving on to the next one, and this one is a reference to the movie and book Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now, this Easter egg kind of begins when you stumble upon a random encounter in game and find yourself running into a character known as Willy. Looting Willy, you'll find that he has the golden holotape. This is clearly a reference to the golden ticket in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, you have this guy named Willy who has a golden holotape. Now, I wasn't actually able to find Willy in game, but if you do listen to the holotape, a guy named Dick Shale will talk about how you just won an Extreme Adventure Tour upgrade at the world famous Uncanny Caverns. Again, this being a reference to the movie in terms of winning a trip to the chocolate factory. Now, of course, the next step from there is for you to explore the Uncanny Caverns. You can find this right here on your map, and the location itself will take you on a tour which gives you information on the Night Kid, which itself is another reference to the in real life location, the Lost World Cavern, and also Batboy. And for the final Easter egg in this video, this one is a reference to the popular TV series known as The Office. Heading over to this location on your map and going inside of this building, you can find a terminal on the table. If you access this terminal, you'll be able to find some interesting logs in here. So I'll read these logs out to you first, and then I'll talk about the reference afterwards. So it says, report details. Mr. Porkins again consumed all pizza's pork gibs and might meat skins snacks. Update, the Porkins family have made a donation to the park. His new role will be assistant to the park manager. Update, Marty Porkins' title has been changed to assistant park manager. Now, this itself is referencing several scenes from The Office, and it's kind of like a running joke in the series. In one of the scenes and throughout the series, Dwight will often refer to himself as the assistant regional manager, but Michael and several other people in the show will always correct him and say that he is the assistant to the regional manager. Again, this does have similarities to Fallout 76, where the Porkins family gets a new role, assistant to the park manager, and then gets his title changed to assistant park manager. A cool little nod there to The Office. And that's pretty much it for the top 10 Easter eggs in Fallout 76. Again, this is part 1, and part 2 should be coming out to you guys very soon. I do also have a few more top 5 and top 10s that I have been working on. Currently working on the best overall weapons in game. I've been farming a ton for that video. There's a couple of weapons that I still need to get for that, but that one should be out soon. I do have a couple of character builds that I'm going to be showcasing on the channel, and some other videos as well. So if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure that you guys do subscribe. Also, if you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like down below. It's always greatly appreciated on the channel. There should be a new intro for this video. Let me know how you guys like that in the comment section down below. There is a couple of scenes I'm probably going to change around. I'm probably going to have like a Scorch Beast Queen scene going in there soon. So it's more of a work in progress for the intro. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.